The most dangerous lie you have ever told yourself, the one that has quietly murdered more dreams than failure ever could, is the single, poisonous word, later. You treat your time as if it were an infinite ocean, a bottomless, magical well from which you can draw forever without consequence or end. But after 54 chapters of stripping away the comfortable delusions of your ego together, we must finally face the most brutal reality of all. Every later you utter is a slow-motion suicide of your ultimate potential. In this 55th chapter, we perform the autopsy of procrastination. We are not here to discuss trivial time management tips or shallow productivity hacks for the weak-willed. We are here to confront the terrifying, cold truth that your life is a burning house, and every single moment you spend waiting for the perfect time is a moment you spend inhaling the toxic smoke of a fading, wasted existence. The sovereign man does not wait for the wind to change, he is the wind itself. He understands with every fiber of his being that tomorrow is nothing more than a crowded graveyard where the greatest, unlived versions of ourselves go to rot, unspoken and forgotten by history. Observe the hourglass with the eyes of a condemned man. Each grain of sand that falls is not just a unit of time, it is a piece of your sovereignty that is gone, dissolved into the ether, never to return. The universe does not pause for your hesitation, it does not care about your paralyzing fears, your elaborate excuses, or your colorful plans for the future. You have become a professional waiter, standing perpetually in the lobby of your own life, staring at a closed door and hoping that someone, somewhere, will eventually call your name and give you permission to begin. In the year 2026, where the entire world is mathematically designed to distract you until the day you die, the most radical act of rebellion you can perform is to treat this very microsecond as if it were your absolute last. Strategic urgency is the weapon of the elite. It is the profound realization that you are already, in a sense, dead, that the clock has already started its final, relentless countdown. When you truly accept your own mortality, the fear of failure evaporates. You no longer have the luxury of overthinking. You only have the divine mandate of execution. Today, we stop counting the days and start making the seconds bleed with purpose. We are ending the era of the waiter and beginning the absolute reign of the now. You tell yourself you are waiting for the stars to align, for the bank account to hit a certain number, for the children to grow up, or for the political climate to be just right. But the hidden secret that the masters of the now know is that the stars are never, ever aligned for the timid and the hesitant. The perfect moment is a ghost, a shimmering mirage meticulously created by your ego to keep you from the raw discomfort of actual growth. By waiting, you are not being careful or prudent, you are being obedient to the shadow of your own fear. Procrastination is the most sophisticated form of self-sabotage because it feels like a plan, it wears the mask of preparation and due diligence. But preparation without a hard, unbreakable deadline is just procrastination wearing an expensive suit. The 55th lesson is about the violent start. It is the rare ability to launch your ship while the hull is still under construction and the sails are still being sewn. If you wait until you are 100% ready, you will spend your entire incarnation on the dusty shore, watching the bold sail into a horizon you will never touch. In the digital landscape of 2026, the world offers you a billion ways to feel like you are making progress while you are actually standing perfectly still. You watch endless videos about success, you highlight passages in books about discipline, and you organize your life in beautiful, complex apps, and yet, your physical reality remains stubbornly, tragically unchanged. This is intellectual procrastination, the most dangerous kind because it feeds your ego while slowly starving your soul to death. Christopher is here to remind you that the cold, indifferent universe does not reward your intentions, it only rewards your tangible impact. Your intent to do is worth absolutely nothing in the marketplace of existence. Strategic urgency means cutting the umbilical cord of maybe and perhaps. It means burning the bridges of someday until you have nowhere else to stand but on the narrow ledge of today. You must develop a predatory, aggressive relationship with time. You must hunt the day before the day has a chance to hunt you. When you stop respecting the grand illusion of tomorrow, you finally begin to respect the sacred reality of your own pulse. Movement is the only cure for the sickness of the mind. Walk through the silent, cold halls of any cemetery, and you will be standing in the greatest library ever created, a library of unwritten books, unstarted businesses, unexpressed love, and unmanifested genius. Each cold headstone is a silent monument to a later that never arrived. Do you truly want your life to be just another tragic footnote in that silent library of regret? Procrastination is the ultimate arrogance of the human ego. It is the assumption that you actually have time. It is a form of supreme pride to assume that the sun is obligated to rise for you tomorrow morning. The sovereign individual lives with the Memento Mori etched into his very retinas. He knows that every breath could be his final transmission, his last words to the world. This realization doesn't make him morbid or sad, it makes him dangerous. A man who knows his time is short has no time for idle gossip, no time for petty arguments, and certainly no time for the opinions of those who are already spiritually dead while they still breathe. Strategic urgency is not about being busy, it is about being essential. Busy people are often just procrastinating on the one or two things that actually matter by filling their schedules with 1,000 things that don't. The sovereign man identifies the one thing that moves the needle of his destiny, and he attacks it with a ferocity that terrifies the lazy and the comfortable. He has no off switch because he is not working, he is manifesting his divine will into the physical plane. In 2026, the attention economy is a predator designed to leak your time like a sieve. Every notification is a digital pickpocket stealing a minute of your destiny. To reclaim your life, you must become a temporal dictator. You must guard your hours with a loaded gun and a cold heart. You must learn to say a brutal no to the trivial and the mediocre so you can say a resounding yes to the eternal. The graveyard is overflowing with people who are going to change the world once things settle down. Be the one who actually changes it today, because you finally realize that the only time you ever truly possessed was the time it took to inhale and exhale this very breath. Money can always be earned back through labor and luck. Reputation can be painstakingly rebuilt over years of consistency. Even health can sometimes be restored through modern science and will. But time is the only truly non-renewable resource in the known universe. It is the raw, unrefined material of your sovereignty. Every hour you spend in the paralysis of overthinking is an hour you have sold to the devil of doubt for a price of zero. Every day you spend in a soul-crushing job or a stagnant relationship that drains your light is a day you have burned in the fire of your own cowardice. Later is the currency of the slave, the man who believes he is not yet worthy of his own life. Now is the currency of the king. To be truly sovereign is to own your time so completely that you refuse to let the past haunt your steps or the future paralyze your hands. It is to inhabit the present moment so fully that time itself seems to bend and stand still in your presence. Think about the monumental projects you have been planning for months or even years. The heavy weight of those unstarted tasks is what is truly making you feel exhausted, not the physical work itself. Unfinished business is a constant, parasitic leak in your psychic energy. By strategically executing those tasks now, without further debate, you are not adding to your burden, you are finally releasing the pressure. You are closing the open loops that have been draining your internal battery for far too long. In 2026, the most powerful people on this planet are not the ones with the most information, but the ones with the shortest gap between the birth of an idea and its cold-blooded execution. They don't wait for inspiration, they create it through the friction of motion. Surrender the childish fantasy that you will suddenly feel like doing it tomorrow. You won't. You will feel exactly the same as you do now, tired, slightly afraid, and full of very logical excuses. The difference is that the sovereign man acts despite the feeling. He has divorced his actions from his shifting emotions. He moves because he gave himself the order to move. And a king does not disobey his own command. As we bring this 55th chapter to a close, I want you to stop and look closely at your own hands. They are older than they were when we began this journey together. The clock is ticking, and it is not ticking in your favor, it is ticking against you. Strategic urgency is the ultimate, highest act of self-respect you can perform. It is the holy moment you decide that you are worth the effort today. Not after the next holiday, not after the next promotion, but right here, right now, in this messy, imperfect, and terrifyingly beautiful moment. The autopsy of your procrastination is now complete. We have found the cause of death for so many versions of you. It was the naive belief that there was still plenty of time. Don't let that be the cause of your final death. Step out of the beeping, blinking, digital madness of the global waiting room and step into the arena of the absolute. The world doesn't need more clever planners, it needs more ruthless finishers. Carry this internal fire with you as you leave this transmission. The one who acts now, owns the future before it even arrives. The one who waits for tomorrow, is already owned by a future that will never be. The one who realizes the absolute fragility of his own mortality becomes immortal through the weight of his deeds. You are no longer a passive victim of the calendar or the clock. You are the master of the moment, the commander of the second. Go back to your life and execute with a holy impatience. Do the hardest thing first, before your ego can talk you out of it. Speak your truth now, while your heart is still beating. Start your empire today, while you still have the breath to command it. And watch in awe as the world, which once seemed to be holding you back with iron chains, suddenly clears a path for the man who knows exactly where he is going and has absolutely no time to waste on the trivialities of the mediocre. The transmission of the 55th is complete. Stop waiting for a life that is already passing you by. Start bleeding your purpose into the fabric of reality. This is Christopher, ending the broadcast of the Urgent King. Tick tock, my friends. Tick tock.